Ladies and gentlemen, in a world teetering on the precipice of chaos, where truth is a mirage and loyalty a fleeting dream, one wrong move could unravel everything. For 12 days, the world held its breath. A shadow war fought in the deep currents of geopolitical tension, threatened to erupt into a blaze, and at its heart was a secret pursuit. You can call it an audacious plan. Israel's intent was clear: to destabilize, to exert unyielding pressure, but their ultimate objective was a target unlike any other. They sought the man behind the curtain, the ultimate authority, the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Had he been found, had he been within their grasp, the course of history might have been irrevocably altered. We are talking about, yes, Israel's plan to kill Khamenei. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, he has confirmed that Israel had a plan to eliminate Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, during the recent 12-day conflict with Iran. According to him, according to Israel Katz, Israel actively searched for Khamenei during the war, and if he had been in their sights, they would have, as he said, taken him out. However, he stated that Khamenei went very deep underground and broke off contact with commanders, making the plan operationally unrealistic in the end. Katz also clarified that Israel's goal was not a regime change, but rather to destabilize Iran's leadership and apply pressure during this entire conflict. He indicated that following the ceasefire, Israel would no longer pursue Khamenei's life, but warned that any future provocations, it would be met with absolute force. But what was this audacious plan that we are talking about? We'll get to that in just a short while from now. But before that, listen in to what was said.
למה לא חיסלנו את חמינאי?
אם הוא היה על הכוונת, היינו מורידים אותו.
אם הוא היה על הכוונת, היינו מורידים אותו? זו החלטה שהתקבלה בקבינט הישראלי?
זו הייתה המדיניות.
ולא הייתה הזדמנות מבצעית פשוט? פשוט לא הייתה הזדמנות מבצעית?
לא. לא הייתה.
הוא עדיין בן מוות?
עוד פעם, יש הבדל לפני הפסקת אש, אחרי הפסקת אש. בתוך המבצע היינו מורידים אותו. האיש הזה עשרות שנים...
חיפשנו להוריד אותו, או שאם הוא היה נקרא...
חיפשנו מאוד. האיש הזה עשרות שנים מוביל.
באישור אמריקני?
אנחנו לא צריכים אישור לדברים כאלה.
Like I said, what was this audacious plan that we are talking about? Well, this is an AI-generated video of that entire plan. This is an AI representation of the Kill Khamenei plot. Remember, Israel has targeted Iran in those last 12 days, including United States, who dropped bombs on a couple of their nuclear facilities. Meanwhile, the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, he hid inside one of those bunkers. How Israel could have taken out Khamenei? Well, we would not know the answer to that. Khamenei, in the meanwhile, he stayed inside that bunker. Israel confirmed the entire Kill Khamenei plan. That entire plan was hashed. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, he in fact initiated this plan. They have been talking about this particular plan. This entire plan was hashed in Israel. Post that, Israel attacked Iran. They attacked Iran first, and then what happened was that Iran then retaliated with their own sets of missiles. Post that, the United States got into this entire situation. Donald Trump, he ordered the B-2 bombers to travel to Iran and then take out those three crucial nuclear facilities, namely the Fordow, Natanz, as well as Isfahan. Meanwhile, while all this was happening, where was Ayatollah Khamenei? Ayatollah Khamenei, he was hiding inside one of those bunkers. He was rushed to the underground bunker hours after the Israeli strike started in Iran. He was inside those bunkers, and he was, sheltering with the family in the Lavizan facility. Despite all this planning, all of this, Khamenei, he remained unharmed. How did Iran's supreme leader manage to evade Israel? Well, like I mentioned, he executed a pre-planned swift relocation to a deeply fortified underground bunker. This entire secure facility, it was nestled within the sprawling and highly protected Lavizan complex, which also serves as his sanctuary when he was joined by his family. It was a location not familiar to crisis, having been the very same secure stronghold he in fact utilized during Iran's retaliatory missile and drone attacks against Israel in both April and October of 2024. His unparalleled safety within was guaranteed by a highly specialized and exceptionally secretive unit, a covert security force operating with continuous vigilance, specifically trained and equipped to thwart any form of infiltration or assassination attempt. Crucially, to confound any electronic surveillance or targeting efforts, and this is important, Khamenei took the drastic step of seizing all use of electronic devices. This complete digital blackout, combined with his decision to maintain no contact whatsoever with his military commanders, it basically effectively isolated him from any traceable communication, also rendered him virtually invisible in the digital realm during this intense period of conflict. So this is how Khamenei survived during those 12 days. Meanwhile, when you talk about Israel, you also have to talk about Mossad. Now, another very crucial and important thing that we are talking about is Israel's intelligence service, their secret service, Mossad. Mossad is widely believed to have a deep and extensive covert network within Iran, reportedly involving both Israeli agents as well as recruited local collaborators. And the recent events, it paints a chilling picture. You know, from the audacious 2020 elimination of the nuclear mastermind Fakhrizadeh by a remote control robot, yes, a remote control robot, to the shocking 2023 demise of Hamas chief Haniyeh in a devastating explosion, and then the subsequent precision strike that eliminated Nasrallah with bunker busters. Remember, these are not isolated incidents that we're talking about. They are chilling affirmations of a deeply embedded network within Iran. What ties these high-profile operations together, revealing the terrifying extent of Mossad's access? The trail of intelligence, cold and precise, consistently leads to one inescapable conclusion: direct penetration into the very heart of power, traced to Khamenei's inner circle. The question isn't if they're inside Iran, but just how far down the rabbit hole they have actually gone. Meanwhile, Iran isn't sitting back. Iran has reportedly intensified its crackdown on individuals accused of espionage, specifically targeting those believed to be working with the Israeli as well as the US intelligence agencies. Now, during this entire conflict, 3 individuals, they were executed on spying charges. Yes, 3 people, they were executed on spying charges in Iran, with another 3 facing the same fate after the ceasefire. Overall, when you look at the reports, these reports indicate that hundreds of people, they have been arrested across Iran for alleged espionage, with figures suggesting as many as 700 individuals who have been detained for perpetrated cooperation with foreign agencies. And these foreign agencies, one could guess, either are either Israeli or affiliated to the United States. Important to note that spying is capital offense in Iran. It is punishable by death. Now, amid all this escalation, Israel launching its attack on Iran, Iran then retaliating, the United States getting involved, allegedly taking out the 3 major nuclear facilities, like I mentioned, in the heart of Iran, namely Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. One key figure who has remained in news for all the right or the wrong reasons is this man, Mr. Donald Trump, the President of the United States. I'll take you back to the 17th of June. This is when Donald Trump, he had warned Khamenei. On the 17th of June, Donald Trump issued a pointed warning to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei via social media. His statement claimed, and I quote, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is. He is an easy target, but he's safe there. We are not going to take him out," which basically translates to, we are not going to kill him at this moment, at least for now, unquote. Now, this message, it underscored a perceived US intelligence awareness of Khamenei's location, while simultaneously indicating a temporary restraint from direct military action against him. Donald Trump's comments These comments came amidst escalating tensions and followed reports that Israel had considered a plan to target Khamenei but found it unrealistic due to his deep underground hiding. So this is exactly what took place in those 12-day period. In fact, we'll try and make sense of whatever that has transpired in the last couple of days, in the last 2 weeks. I'm joined by Syed Akif Zaidi. He's a research scholar at Al Mustafa International University, Qom in Iran. Mr. Zaidi, the first question is, how credible do you think are these claims that Israel, it had planned to eliminate Ayatollah Khamenei during this entire conflict? Would this, in a sense, represent a major shift in Israeli military doctrine? How do you think Iran is going to respond to this now?
Thank you very much for inviting me. And I was watching your introduction, Mr. Saab, and there are a few errors. I won't take up much airtime to correct those. We can talk to your research team separately. But just one minor correction, that Mr. Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated in 2024, not in 2023. Now let's get back to your main question regarding the credibility of the claims that are being made by the so-called Israeli defense minister. I have no doubt whatsoever that assassination is one of the steady and regular techniques and strategies that is always used by the Israeli establishment. So I have no doubt that they have always wanted to assassinate Ayatollah Khamenei. The only reason that hasn't happened as yet is because they were unable to do so, as Mr. Katz himself has just recently admitted. And of course, you will realize that this contradicts the claim made by Mr. Trump just a few days ago when he said that we know where he is, we can take him out, but we choose not to. So obviously there is a contradiction here. And the fact of the matter is that nobody really had any idea where he is and therefore was unable to make the effort to assassinate him. But I'm sure that they wanted to, and if they could have, they would have made every possible attempt, no matter what the collateral damage could be. Because as you know, the Israeli regime has no concern for niceties like collateral damage, civilian deaths and casualties, and the like.
Right.
Now, why is this the case? Why do they want to do this? Before I come to answer this question as to why they were seeking this assassination, their inability to assassinate Ayatollah Khamenei adds to their list of failures in this 12-day American-Israeli assault on Iran. As you know, they failed to deter Iran from launching retaliatory attacks. They have failed to wipe out its missile program. They failed to change Iran's mind regarding its own peaceful nuclear program. And we can add to the list of their failures yet another unachieved goal, which is the assassination of Ayatollah Khamenei. And of course,
Mr. Zadi,
this increases the significance.
Mr. Zadi, a lot of these people, they have been, talking about regime change. Many have said, and including the U.S. president, that look, we don't want a regime change in Iran. The Israeli authorities, Israeli Prime Minister, they also mentioned that look, we don't want a regime change in Iran. But what exactly are they looking for now? What do they want if you in a way take out the supreme leader of Iran? You're ultimately looking at a regime change.
Mr. Saab, what I believe that they seek has been clearly spelled out by Ayatollah Khamenei in the statement, in his address to the nation that he put out yesterday, where he said that thanks to the statements of Mr. Donald Trump, it is clear that right from the start, from the 1979 onwards till today, the single most important goal pursued by the imperial axis led by America has been the abject surrender of Iran. Regime change in itself is not a goal. It is a stepping stone to achieving surrender. If surrender could somehow be achieved with the same rulers in place, that would be pursued. Mm-hmm. The aim is to change the character of the Islamic Republic from being a revolutionary force of resistance and an inspiration for people in this region and around the world to being yet another client state groveling in front of the United States and terrifying and trembling at its threats and acting as per its at its beck and call, acting as per its whims and fancies. That is the true goal.
Yeah.
That may require regime change. It may require regime collapse, because change assumes that you want to replace an existing political order with another one. But as we've seen in Libya and to a large degree in Syria, they have another trick up their sleeve, the Western imperial axis, which is to simply remove the existing political order and not allow it to be replaced by anything else, and allow the country to collapse into some civil war and patchwork of little states. All these are all means. The end is the transformation of the Iranian political system with the same people, with new people, with regime collapse, with regime change. These are simply means to getting to that end. And it is important to understand why that end is being pursued, Mr. Saab. What is the problem? We see the Israeli regime repeatedly saying that Iran is an existential threat for us. And it is important to note that they have been saying this well before 13th of June, when the first Iranian retaliatory attack happened. They've been saying this for decades. In fact, they've been saying this regarding small little groups like Hamas and smaller groups than that as well.
Yeah.
Let me just finish, Mr. Saab. Why is it that this is an existential threat? The fact is that America heads a global axis of imperialism, of which Israel is a part, that has a certain offer that demands a certain kind of obedience from the world, which is one of submission and of craven and abject surrender. Because Iran, not just in terms of media and propaganda, but in terms of actual lived experience over the last 46 years, has shown that it is possible to not submit to America and yet be successful in every sphere of activity. It is truly an existential threat for Israel, as well as an existential threat for American hegemony all over the world.
All right. Sayyid Aqif Zaidi, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. You know, there are a lot of legal and ethical, issues as well associated with this entire development, and we'll hopefully talk about it some other day. Thank you very much for speaking with NDTV.